Okay, hello everyone. Today we have Rayyan. Rayyan was my student when I was still teaching in Outram Sec. He was a very motivated water polo student of mine who is now actually training with the national team. So I was very proud of him. So in this conversation, right, we want to talk about what makes you motivated and how we as teachers can learn from you all to motivate other students.
So me as a student, I've always been very motivated by learning from my seniors or even my teachers. I can see their determination to help us. I was very inspired by Mr. Tang because even if some of us are absent from training, he will always be the one there supporting us day and night. I really believe in leading by example. For example, my seniors always showing the right values through their actions. Sometimes values don't always need to be taught, it needs to be learned. I feel like if you're surrounded by 10 good people, you'll be the 11th. If you're surrounded by 10 bad people, you'll be the 11th bad person as well. So it's really about the environment and how the teacher can shape the people around them. And another thing I would like to add is how the change that you want to see starts with yourself. If the teacher wants to see determination in a team, there has to be a lot of science and hard work to show determination, especially being exemplified by the teacher, so it can inspire the seniors and the juniors and so on and so forth.
I like when you say about when you're surrounded by 10 good people, you become the 11. That time I remember when you were set 1, you were the only one that have some water polo knowledge. That time I was a bit worried that you don't have good players to train with, unlike other schools where they have a lot of very good players. From your experience, right, what do you think motivates the rest of your friends who want to train harder so that they level up with you and then you can also have better sparring partner?
It was like during this experience, last time we used to have games at night, like friendly games with other school like ACS Barker, then some alumni also, and it was super thrilling. I'm usually the one like helping out my friends. I don't think they weren't as motivated before the first friendly match. I really think the determination came from themselves, from like seeing how much they had to catch up, and it really motivated them because they didn't want to be humiliated in front of all their like parents. So after that game, we were all super motivated to just keep coming, keep consistent, come every Friday night, even though it was super far and it took a lot of effort to convince our parents as well. But overall as a team, we motivated each other, we affirmed each other. So being in the environment of being an underdog school, it's really motivating to know that there's really nothing to lose and the fear of letting other people down.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about the fear of being humiliated. The first time I brought y'all to a friendly match, wow, y'all lost by many goals. I remember it was like almost 50 or 52 or something, that kind of scoreline. So it's very easy for the teacher to think, wow, this group of students, it's very difficult to change them. How can I change them from 50 points deficit to match out with the other school? It almost feels like it's impossible. But then what I did not notice that time was actually because of that kind of scoreline, because of the fear of having that scoreline again, you all became very motivated. That is something we teachers do not see. And because of your motivation, right, sometimes I notice that during break time, I will see y'all helping each other how to improve. Y'all will share ideas. So those are things that sometimes we teachers, we don't notice. From our point of view, it feels like, oh, this group will get trashed by people. Sometimes it's very difficult for the teacher point of view to see, wow, actually this student work very hard, this student want to do well, this student, they are just all quiet. All of you are very quiet. When I ask you what's your goal in water polo, then I will see all of you very quiet. Maybe 1 or 2 of you will say, oh, we want to do well, we want to improve. But the rest of you are just very quiet. 3 years later, now you all are in Set Force. Some of you are doing so well, you know. You are in national team and some of you are actually going to JCs. So these are things that teachers don't see. What is some examples that you think really will help to motivate the whole team? And also sometimes when the teacher conduct the CCA, right, the teacher also know actually the students are motivated. The students want to do well.
Yeah, I know that some teachers may not recognize that the students actually want to do well. I feel like students also will be on the fence a lot of times. For example, myself, I was very scared of saying the wrong answer, like not satisfying what the teacher wants to hear, and I'll be very quiet. But I think all students should be encouraged to just try. It should be forgiven that we give the wrong answer, because in life, we learn from our mistakes. Even if we don't, we have to keep trying again and again and again. If the teacher finds it hard to recognize that the students want to try and the students are keeping very quiet and they're very stuck in a point, it's all just silence. I think what we used to do was this thing called think, pair, share. Between students and students, it's a safer environment to make mistakes. Sure, like, okay, they can talk nonsense, they can make fun of each other, but in the end, it creates a safe environment to say the wrong things, make the right mistakes, and then learn from them. So of course, helping one another. I remember they saying the person right next to you is the best teacher that you can possibly have. By picking out each other's mistakes, you both will grow, and that is the supportive kind of environment that a student needs. Of course, teachers don't see the evidence that they want to try. They only see evidence that they're very quiet and they don't want to work. I feel like student-to-student discussions need to be more normalized, and maybe even the biggest mistakes shouldn't be so highlighted or emphasized, because they'll be scared to make mistakes and then they won't learn from them.
One thing that teachers always fear is when we ask you to teach your friend, when we ask you to discuss with your friend, what if you say the wrong thing? Then the friend is not learning anything at all. Then what's the point of doing that? We're wasting time. But recently I read about this, the science of learning, how our brain works, right? What this book is trying to say is all of us, right, we learn things from trial and error. So like, let's say I give you a goal and then you try something and you fail, and then you try another thing, you fail, and then you try another thing, then it's successful. So our brain actually make connection and think that, oh, when we see all the failures and we see the correct thing, we understand the concept better. Rather than you tell me the correct thing and then I just memorize it, I will forget all these things. I will only understand when I know what is wrong, then what is right. Then I will understand the concept very well. When you talk about embracing failure and normalizing this kind of discussion, right, I think that is what makes a person learn. Yeah, and so when we teachers, right, we see, oh, this person is saying the wrong thing to the other friends, we should embrace it. We should say, oh, good, this person is learning. We should be thinking that way. Or we allow your students, seniors, to help your juniors, right? If the senior is saying the wrong thing to the junior, or the senior is teaching the wrong thing to the junior, we should embrace it. We should think, oh, correct, he is going to learn soon. But maybe it look like he's not learning, but it's okay. If this person don't teach the wrong thing, this person will not learn the right thing also.
There should be that environment where even though the senior say a wrong thing, there should be that respect between the junior to just listen. Should always be open to opinions.
Right. So I think this is when sometimes the teachers must come in. So it's not like laissez-faire and not necessarily a friend will listen. The friend will say, no, I don't believe in you. The friend will just argue back. So sometimes the teacher need to have this structure or to explain to the students, to the juniors or to the friends that there's no wrong answer. If your senior says something, just have an open mind and you try. You never know. Everybody is learning. The senior is learning. Even I as a teacher, I'm also learning. Sometimes I say the wrong things also. I will teach the wrong way also. A lot of times I tell students that I can say this, I do this. Then I go home and reflect. I realize, oh, whatever I did was wrong. We teachers also have to learn, and what more students also need to learn also. And this is the best way to learn something. And once we make mistakes and we go through all these failures and then some success, we will actually remember all this forever. We don't even need memorizing anymore already. Sometimes, you know, when you make one mistake and then the teacher, no, wrong. Then the student made another mistake, wrong, don't do it again, don't make this mistake, don't tell your junior this. So sometimes it creates that fear to try again, right? Then at the start you say, okay, let's aim to do well in the next year NSG. But because throughout the whole year, every student fear of making that mistake. So every student don't dare to try. It becomes like we are all just waiting for the coach to tell me what to do, wait for the teacher to tell me what to do. At the end of the day, everybody is just waiting for instruction. This kind of learning is very slow. But let's say if everybody embrace mistakes, every time you try something, the teacher say, okay, just try again, don't worry. Mistake is normal. I think everybody will dare to say more things. Everybody will experiment. Everybody will dare to try. And then everybody will slowly develop to be the teacher. And then suddenly you have 30 teachers in the swimming pool and then no longer one teacher anymore already.
Yeah, so the trial and error thing is actually very real and it creates more value to the thing that you learn. So of course, if you fail 100 times, and you get it right on the 101 time, then you have like a huge sense of value in you. Trial and error really sparks creativity in a student. Maybe the mistake that you made created something new. Maybe it's something the coach has never seen. Sure, it can be wrong, but maybe it's effective, maybe it's useful. It will hold a certain value to the person and the student will remember it for life. There's this thing in water polo, it's called a zone. We put two people on the most dangerous person, and that's a water polo tactic. In Outram, we've adopted this huge habit about helping each other. When the coach says zone, the whole team will come back and help. That was super effective and no one actually expected that in BDiv. So many schools actually knew us for our aggressiveness and they never expected like a school like us, like come into the CCA, don't know how to swim. Through our mistakes and creativity, we've actually formed a new tactic. Our coach taught us to do 2 men on 1 person, Instead, we put Feynman and we just steal the ball and we just got the goal instead. Yeah, sure, it's a mistake, but it's so effective and no one expected it. It's proof that mistakes actually promote creativity and new strategies, methods. Of course, some things won't be suited to a specific team, maybe have different approaches, and that's learned through mistakes, and we should embrace it.
Talking to you, I really want to go back to teaching again because I really want to try all over again and really allow all my students to embrace their mistake. I really think that is a very powerful thing. As teachers, we can say a lot, embrace mistake, failure is part of success, whatever. But the thing is, the moment we see a student make mistake, we straight away jump in and tell the person something wrong. We will not say things like, continue, just continue. It's okay to make mistakes, just continue and continue. You will get there. Thank you for talking to me because I really learned a lot from you. And I also want to affirm you that you have done a very good job. I just hope that you can continue this kind of spirit in your life because as an adult now, right, I realize a lot of the things we learned in schools, we forgot already. It's a lot of we dare to try something, we believe in ourselves. When we do something, definitely there will be failures. And because of this failure, we understand things better and become wiser. It's not about memorizing all the best strategy and then we become a very wise person. It's really about going there and dare to make mistakes.
From a student's perspective, helping my juniors, one method that I like to do is try to put myself in their shoes. I try to understand their situation. Why is this person the way that they are? And if I was them, how would I feel? How would I want things to go? Giving yourself that impression, putting yourself in their shoes, will give them the ample environment for them to succeed. And maybe if you don't understand a few things, you can get to know the student better and shape your impression of them for the better. Because a negative impression will continue to snowball and this negative impression will grow and the support that the student has will get lesser and lesser.
Okay, thank you so much for the conversation. Hope to talk to you again, hear more insights from you. Thank you.